Hey guys, welcome back. We got another Model 11 here, Sunbeam Mixmaster that we're doing. This one is an interesting one. The owner sent this and he bought this brand new in the box and apparently needs a little bit of work. So we're going to go ahead and plug this in, see what it sounds like. As you can see, it looks like the front piece that rotates is separating here. This is the way that it arrived here. So when we take it apart, we'll find out what's up with that. You can hear, I don't know if you can hear the cord on this thing. It's pretty crunchy. You can hear it crunching. So I'm assuming that the insulation inside here is not any good. And when you turn it on, it doesn't rotate, it just hums, which is a classic symptom of these things sitting for a long period of time with the original grease and oil in them. We've seen it a whole bunch of times. The base is mine. It's an old base I have laying around. I just put it on here to make it easier to work on. But we're going to go ahead and start taking this apart. And try to get everything freed up and cleaned up in here. I mean, look how shiny this even looks. I mean, this thing is, you know, obviously brand new, but it's amazing even something brand new can still have some issues like this. Including a screw that's incredibly tight. Alright, so we got our screw out. Get our springs out. And I'm going to pop this off. And we'll figure out what's up with this here when we get it put back together. I mean, you can see that's nice and clean inside of here. Just a little bit of oily, sticky residue. You see there's no buildup down inside of here. This is nice and clean. So before we start pulling, well, yeah, we can go ahead and pull this off. Alright, let's take a look at the gearbox here. It's nice to see a brand new one. It's hard to believe these are still around in the box, new old stock, never been used. I mean, yeah, right now it doesn't run because it's seized up, but once we get that taken care of, every other part in here is still brand new, has no miles on it. So this is almost like an ideal find right here. Alright, first look at a gearbox that's never been turned. You can see the grease does look pretty crappy in here. The grease right here is just falling out already in a big old chunk. Yeah, it's pretty dried out. We'll get out what we can. And we'll start disassembling the back, that way we can get our armature out and try and get these things here, the gears and the shafts to turn, so that we can pull those out and get those all clean and polished up. Okay, that's pretty good for now. Let me spin this around. Let's take our cap off. Alright. dial off of here. Alright, that's probably the most spotless Model 11 you'll ever see. Resistor's still nice and white, but I just see there's some corrosion on the ends here. We'll have to, of course, clean that corrosion up, but I think that's just that just comes from just two different types of metal being in contact with each other, and add a little bit of humidity to it, and that's what you end up with. Brand new factory capacitor. It seems a little stuck right now. Cornell Dubilier. Alright. I'll take a little adjustment pin out. There's a couple little specks of dust in here, but overall it's spotless. Nothing's been pulled through here. Alright, get our governor off. Disconnect the wiring from it first, of course. Wiring is nice and pliable. It's funny how the internal wiring on these is so good most of the time, and it's the cord, the inner insulation on the cord that really goes to crap. Alright, so there's a brand spanking new speed control governor. Brand spanking new points in it. Alright, we're going to get the brushes out of here. Brand spanking new brushes. Nice to see brand new parts in one of these. I mean, that's what it would have been like in like 1955. Brought one of these home from the store and you know, took it out of the box and started taking it apart. Alright, off the bat, you see some oily residue on here. So we'll have to re-oil that wick down in there. there's a brand new armature. I mean, you can see there's hardly even a mark on here from the carbon on those brushes. But there's some old oil on here, so we'll have to clean up all this old oil off of the shafts. Alright, so now that that's done, gotta see if we can get these to turn. Yeah, that one's frozen solid. And that one's frozen solid, so this one has both shafts are frozen up solid. Alright, so the only way to get these loosened up is to heat it up, but we got to be very careful that we don't, start to do any damage to our finish on here, being that this is factory original finish. So we're going to just take it nice and slow. We'll just try to warm it up enough to where we can get these to turn. Alright, there's one nasty shaft. Now we see if we can get this other one to come out now. It still barely wants to turn. We don't want to get it too hot, so we're just going to have to work it and make it cooperate. Alright, and you can see this one is real gummy and gooey right there. And I can almost stick my finger to it. So those definitely need to be cleaned up and polished up good, because right now they're just a mess. The gear's out. Alright, so now we can start getting some more of this grease out of here. It should be quite a bit runnier now. So this is the heat is the key to get those out, because it basically melts that solidified grease residue that gets in there. I mean, that's what locks it up, is it gets in there, it dries out, and then it solidifies, and you can actually melt that down with the heat. I mean, it's still sometimes it's a fight to get them out, but without heat, though, you're never going to get those out. So, just put your heat gun on low, and just, you don't want to get it scorching hot, but you want to get it, get everything warmed up all the way through. These tubes that the shafts go in, you want to get those warmed up all the way through, so that it'll start to heat up that residue on there, so you can get it out. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take this off the stand. Let's set the stand out of the way for now. Get my greasy fingerprints off of here. I'm going to go through and grab some paper towels, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull the cord out of here. Alright, I'm going to get the cord connection cover off of here now, so I stop touching greasy stuff. And unfortunately, that came right out. Alright, let's pull our connections up here where we can get to them. Let's get them chopped off here. Here's one. And there's the other, and you can see chunks of cord insulation just falling out of there. Copper cord. Alright, I can get this out of here. You can see this, how that's so stiff, and then we try to get it to bend. I mean, it just crumbles to pieces. So that's no good. Alright. Now I want to disconnect the RF filter on here, but I don't want to cut my cord way too short, or my field coil connections. I don't want to cut those extremely short. Which already seem to be pretty short as it is. Alright. Now with those leads disconnected, we can pull this out, and you can see it's already, even though this thing hasn't really had any use, there's already wax that's been starting to come out of it. The end did get heated up, but this is wax like all the way around on it, so we'll do away with that. Now we just got to get a new cord hooked up to it. And I should be able to get down in here to it. Alright, so I'm going to get a cord hooked up on here, and then I'll be right back. Alright, well we're at that point where we can start putting everything back together here. We've got everything all cleaned up and polished up and pretty much ready to reassemble. We've got the cord hooked up on here. We've got the shafts polished up, the bores all clean and polished up that they go into, and we're just going to do the opposite that we did, taking everything apart. We're going to put everything back together just in reverse order, and we'll be able to fire it up and see how she runs. Alright, so now we got everything all back together on here. I went to go put this on, and I noticed there's still a gap on here. So one thing I noticed, I think this was, it may have been a reason why, I'm not saying it is, but this may have been a reason why this was still in the box and never sold. I think there's an issue in the machining, and I'm not sure if it's the machining, the step where this front plate, the gearbox cover sets in there, or if it's on these out too far. And the reason I say that is because if you look on here, I mean these are assembled when they're painted, and you can see there's paint on there. So what I did was I just went through and I filed this part here down. That's the part that was rubbing against here, and you can see a line all the way around where it was really rubbing on there pretty good, and you can also see it on here. So anyways, I got that on, I got that done, and it's still got a bit of a gap here, but it's way better than it was. So apparently that wasn't an issue with shipping. You know, the handle getting bumped around, that's just the way this one was. So I think it's far better now than when it came in. I mean, I don't really want to keep going and filing that down. I mean, I don't have, you know, any way to get it exact. I don't want to take off too much, but I just wanted to get it to sit flatter, and now it does. It sits pretty much even all the way around without looking like the thing was not cockeyed. So anyways, now we got all together, and we got it cleaned up enough. We tried to get some of the staining off the front here, which is extremely hard to do. You can see the ejector works. The gap is much tighter up here. Let's go ahead and turn this on and give it a listen to. Alright, so I mean it does run like brand new, which is kind of what we suspected it would do. So this is actually a really good find. It was brand new in the box, and unfortunately it didn't work, and now it's going back working. Everything is all lubed up. We not only polished up the shafts and cleaned the gears, but also the bores where they go. We also cleaned those up really good and polished those. Because whatever build was on the shaft was also in these bores as well, so we got that all cleaned up and polished up the ends of the armature where they go through the bushings. We got everything lubed up good. So now with if this thing were to be run once in a while with some oil in the oil holes here and down in the ports, then this thing will stay running for a really long time. But that right there is a perfect example of why these machines do need maintenance once in a while. This one that has never been used, never been ran in a kitchen at all, and it come in here seized up, not running. So perfect example right here. But anyways, if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, let us know that you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so you can see the other videos that we post. You can get notified of them. Apparently if you don't click that bell, you don't get notifications. But anyways, as always, appreciate you guys watching, and we will see you on the next one.